Hey guys, KingBall06 here, and we're back with another video. In this video, I'll be showing the Charlotte Littlehorn thumbnail drawings that I created. In this video, I'll be discussing the idea of me keeping thumbnail images separate from my speed paints versus combining them into one video, the process of creating the thumbnails, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean. So the reason that I'm keeping thumbnail image videos and fully drawn Speedpaint videos separate is because I want there to be a place where somebody can easily access the thumbnail drawings by themselves. If I executed my other idea of having the thumbnail drawings within a Speedpaint and having it as like a separate section, for example, that would mean that any future videos in which I draw any other thumbnails would require someone to scroll through and try to find the video in which I first showcase the thumbnails. This way, the way I plan on doing it, having them separate, I can have a video in which I dedicate my commentary more to the thumbnails themselves, and then the speed paints will focus more on what happens after the thumbnail images. The process here is straightforward. I've gotten used to creating thumbnail images and they only take me 4 to 5 minutes to draw each one, at least at this point. I drew a total of 46 thumbnail images and the total time of the project was 3 hours, or 180 minutes. That's an average of a little under 4 minutes for a thumbnail image. As I get used to doing this, it will take me less time to get these done. The reason that I enjoy making thumbnail images is because, as I said before in a previous video, it allows me to jot down ideas I have in my head very quickly. I'm not worried about facial features, proportions, or any extreme detail. My primary focus is on communicating the idea to the point where I can immediately look at it and tell what's going on, so that if I choose to continue the image further, I can create a fully rendered piece without having to go out of my way to figure out what I'm specifically trying to draw. For these thumbnails, the primary focus was indeed Charlotte Littlehorn, hence the title of this video. Beyond that, I had some random LC character prompts that I found on Pinterest that I wanted to try out, so some of the drawings are in response to those prompts. If you've noticed, I sometimes copy a thumbnail image and make a new page. What I'm doing in these situations is using the 5 of the thumbnail as a reference to create more thumbnails with the same theme. Out of the 46 thumbnail images that I created, I narrowed it down to 3 images. After completing one of them already, the speed paint will be up next week. I changed my mind on one of the other 2 and scrapped it, leaving one on standby. I won't tell you guys what I'm working on now, but if it pans out, there will be plenty of interesting videos that will be coming out in the coming weeks and in 2023. As I said in last week's video, I will be going over my thoughts on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean. Spoiler alert, if you have not completed JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean, either skip or mute this section entirely. I will be going over plot points within the series, so you have been warned. As a whole, Stone Ocean is definitely not my favorite of the 6 current parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That spot still belongs to part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. However, I still enjoyed the series nonetheless. Firstly, one minor thing about the series is that it's more explicit in comparison to the other 5 parts. There are plenty of conversations that are sexually involved, or there are more graphic things that are occurring within the episodes. One example I can think of off the top of my head is the scene in which Sea Moon flips Jolene's heart inside out. That level of violence simply isn't achieved in any of the previous parts. It allows for its unique take on comedy and intensity that makes it stand out in comparison to the other parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The next thing I want to discuss is the linear setup. What I mean by that is that there is a goal that Jolene wants to reach, finding the user Pale Snake and then preventing Poochie from reaching heaven, and there are henchmen that appear in order to stop Jolene from reaching her goal. In Stardust Crusaders, the Joestar group, which includes Jotaro, Joseph, Avdol, Polnareff, and Noriaka Kakuin, to defeat Dio, and they had to go through Dio's henchmen to do so. In Golden Wind, Giorno and Bruno wanted to defeat Diablo and Emperor Crimson, and they had to go through its henchmen on their journey. What makes Stone Ocean different is that there are some episodes in which Jolene and her friends, Hermes, FF, etc., would hang out, and then a stand user would confront them, and they'd have to counter the ability, and then defeat the user. So it wouldn't necessarily have to do with their ultimate goal, it would just be more of a, a side thing. Also, Jolene met more allies that joined her, and each of them had their own stories and their own goals that they were striving for while they helped Jolene on her journey. In Stardust Crusaders, for example, everyone in the main group had one shared goal. There was no branching off with any of the characters involved. The only difference was that Polnareff wanted to defeat Dio for the sake of avenging his sister, outside of already taking out the user of Hangman, of course. Lastly, before I go over the ending of Stone Ocean itself, let me briefly discuss what I think about all the characters involved. I didn't see a single character that I didn't like, and all of them have their own quirks. It's sad that most of the characters introduced are irrelevant after their introduction episode, but that makes sense given most of them are enemies, and once they are defeated and Jolene's group figures out how to counter them and their abilities, they can't really do anything against them, so either they ally with Jolene or they become worthless. Now, the ending is bizarre. The ending fits the title of the series perfectly, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What happened is utterly crazy. I understand implementing the theory of when the universe ends or restart and those who died can't be reborn and the Big Bang Theory and all of that, that's all well and good. Also, the fight between Emporio and Poochie is much better and more action-packed than when Giorno got Golden Wind Requiem, and it was so effortless that Giorno's stand acted for him, and there's absolutely no difficulty in that fight, no build-up, no real significant action, it was just over like that. Emporio was able to use Weatherstorm and take advantage of his superior general knowledge about life from all the books that he's read in order to create a poison via an overconcentration of oxygen. For a kid who hasn't really seen the outside world, he knows a damn lot about it. My confusion with the ending is this new universe. In this one, Jolene is now Irene, Anastasia is now Anarchist, Hermes isn't a prisoner in Green Dolphin, and Jolene isn't as well, and Anarchist isn't as well. And her sister seems to not be dead. From my understanding, this is basically a universe in which Enrico Pucci simply doesn't exist at all. I just don't get how Emporio taking out Pucci even created this, and I want to know what else about this universe is different. Do the Joy Stars still exist? Do stands exist? What about Hamon and everyone and everything else from the previous 5 parts? There are a lot of unanswered questions, and I hope that part 7 clears things up. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, check out my Twitter and Discord, both are in the description. If you want to know what I'm currently doing or thinking about, those 2 places are the best places to go. I will see you guys next time.